Yo guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. And Aston Martin have finally unveiled the final hurrah for the V12 and manual combo, and that is the all new Valour, as you guys can see. And as you guys can see, the Valour is basically a minimized version of the one-of-one Victor. But first, let's go back in time for once. And guys, welcome to September 2020, which was when the Aston Martin Victor officially broke cover, and it was the first ever Aston Martin to have the headlamps of a 1978 V8 Vantage ever since that year. So in a way, it was paying homage to that car. But where did the name Victor originate from? It originated from the man who hauled the failing company through the 80s, and his name was none other than Victor Gauntlet. He's the one who initiated the deal with Cubby Broccoli to put James Bond back in an Aston Martin, and even sold Broccoli a Volante in the process. Talk about a professional salesman. He revived the Aston Zagato relationship. He invented the Virage. He paved the way for the DB7. So in a way, he is responsible for where Aston Martin are today. And this was a perfect way to pay tribute to him with a car of his own. And under the hood, it had a Cosworth tuned 7.3 liter V12 engine putting out 836 horsepower. Yep, a very big astronomical number right there. And this was a gorgeous thing to look at. As you guys can see, this is a huge thing to look at. And the all new Valour is literally based off of this car. And in Aston Martin history, this will always live as an icon. Although the Victor is a bigger, badder version of this is no slouch. After all, this is an Aston. It represents elegance and pure British craftsmanship. I mean, look at it. It is literally a Victor in its own, but with a minimized engine and power. Where the Victor had 864 horsepower, this has 700. And that had a 7.3 liter naturally aspirated V12, whereas this has a 5.2 liter twin turbo V12 taken from the DBS and the V12 Vantage. It still is a V12, but the pièce de résistance is the manual transmission. It will be the final ever Aston Martin to feature a V12 combined with a manual transmission. I mean, just take a look at this, guys. This is a beautiful, magnificent piece to look at. And it has got a huge rear diffuser, and combined with the front splitter at the front, it produces an impeccable amount of balanced downforce. And it has also got this new cascade aerodynamic system known as the exoblades, which also aid in aerodynamics, or i.e. downforce. And it obviously has a camera system, since you literally have no rear view vision. It also has a new triple tailpipe sitting front and center, and apparently this also shoots flames. I mean, wow, that's a huge first from Aston. I mean, who doesn't love a V12 flamethrower? And just look at the side profile of this, guys. This is a beautiful masterpiece to look at. And on the front of performance, Aston aren't known for making the type of cars which are huge on performance with huge numbers. I mean, this delivers on that front with quite some good numbers, and that is way more than enough. But Aston are known for making driver's cars that you can take out whenever you want, go for a leisure drive in the evening, take them to the mountains or the Alps, wherever. And they are known for making masterpieces to look at, and this is a perfect presentation of that. And the interior is just on a whole nother level, guys, which we'll get to later on. And it also has the DBS 770 Ultimate wheels as an option, and it also has a plethora of paint options to choose from, so it is plentiful in the specification front. And as you guys can see, the whole front end resembles the one with the Victor, and this was actually conceived to commemorate the 110th anniversary of Aston Martin, which is this year, which also means that only 110 of these bad boys will be made. And it makes sense, since this is the final hurrah for the V12 and manual combination being made by Aston, and manuals are in huge demand right now, specifically the Lamborghini Murciélagos, the LP640 variants, be it a Roadster, Coupe, or even a Super Veloce. But back to Aston, guys. The Victor and the Valour get their design cues from the 70s and 80s racing cars, as well as the V8 Vantages of that era. And the Vantages, or even the racing cars of that era, were on a whole nother level of beauty with their gorgeousness, and the front end being the main factor, which carried on to the Valour, as you guys can see, as well as the Victor with the broad grille and the circular headlights, and a couple of the body lines matching. So these are basically paying homage to the 70s and 80s cars. And Aston have also given this a rare ducktail instead of a big wing like they've done with the Victor, and it also aids in downforce and aerodynamics, and it actually suits the body lines well and way more better than a big wing. This is also exactly the same that Bugatti did with the Chiron Profile, so Not bad from Aston, and it makes the rear end really pop with the big diffuser, the triple tailpipes, and this big ducktail. And as you guys can see, it even takes the blade taillights from the Vulcan or the Valkyrie or the Valhalla to show how far Aston have come engineering wise and design wise. And guys, we finally come to the PS resistance, which is the 6-speed manual transmission, which is actually an open gated transmission where the mechanism is literally open like in the Pagani Huayra, and you can actually feel the heat emanating off of the mechanism and into the cabin. This is how the mechanism looks, guys. Every shift of this is provoking, guys. It offers an intimate connection between the driver and the Valour, which gives an awesome driving experience. And you can also choose from a plethora of options for your gear lever top, guys, such as wood, aluminum, carbon fiber, leather, and there are a couple more options. But I personally would go for the wood. It would go really well with the tweed seats to provide a nice nostalgic feeling as a throwback to the old times. The carbon fiber body panels and the bonded aluminum lightweight structure make it the stiffest body made by Aston to date. And with the all new adaptive dampers as well as the anti-roll bars, you can be as comfy as you want for a calm cruise, or it can be storming and fast for a hot lap around a racetrack. And coming to the engine, guys, it has a monstrous 5.2 liter twin turbocharged V12, putting out a staggering 700 horsepower and 753 Newton meters of torque. Whew. Those are some big numbers from this car, and that shows that it is plentiful on the front of power. And coming to the production count, guys, this being a limited series production car and this being conceived to commemorate the 110th anniversary of Aston Martin, only 110 of these bad boys will be made. Well, guys, that was Aston Martin Valour, and it is a sad day after all, since we will not be getting this anymore. It is a one of a kind. The V12 manual combo is officially going to depart after this car, and this will forever be an icon in the books as being the last Aston to have this legendary combo. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Remember to hit that sub button and click the bell to ensure that you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See ya!